Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Viz Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about Dustin the Diamond Poirier and his recent comments in regards to his future. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Viz Analysis. It's been said before, Dustin Poirier has already cemented his name in being one of the most iconic fighters to have ever fought in the UFC, regardless of weight division, and regardless of the fact that Dustin Poirier was never truly able to obtain the lightweight title, even though he was the interim champion at some point. Unfortunately for Dustin Poirier, he fell short to champion of the division on multiple occasions. First, to a guy in the name of Khabib Nurmagomedov, latter retired undefeated, unblemished record, and the very last fight was actually a title fight for Dustin Poirier, obviously, and that was against the current lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Despite the fact that he's fell short to the champion of the division more than once, I believe losing to a guy like Khabib Nurmagomedov takes nothing away from your legacy. Matter of fact, I think it adds to your legacy, the fact that you fought a guy like Khabib Nurmagomedov. I believe this is going to be something to be proud of moving into the future, just because it's so rare to see a guy undefeated in the world of MMA. I look at John Jones as also being undefeated because the only blemish on his record was a disqualification loss. He never actually lost, and I think with the rule change in terms of 12-6 elbows, I really believe that the UFC is going to go back in retrospect and change that loss to a no contest perhaps at some point. That being said, Dustin Poirier somehow still finds the hunger to want to compete even further. Matter of fact, in recent comments that Dustin's had to make, he claims that he feels like he does not feel like he's at the end of his career, in sort of say, and he feel like there's plenty left in the gas tank. Now, is it possible for Dustin Poirier to climb his way back up to the top of that lightweight division to fight his way back to a title shot? There's nothing out of the realm of possibility. Though I believe the closer fight to Dustin Poirier is a fight at 170. I really think Dustin Poirier's next fight is going to be at 170. I could be wrong, of course. I'm no fortune teller here. But I feel like, or I think rather, that the fight against Colby Covington is perhaps inevitable at this point. Colby Covington has had some comments to make recently in regards to Dustin Poirier. I think the two ran into each other at a restaurant or something. And obviously, Colby Covington use the opportunity to say something that's not so very nice to provoke a reaction, as obviously Colby Covington always does. You cannot take the things that the dude says personally. I look at him as a fighter. He's a solid fighter in my eyes, despite the losses to, in his case as well. They're very similar, Colby and Dustin Poirier. The one guy lost to the champion of the division twice, and the other guy did multiple times as well. So there's that similarity. They're somewhat similar height. Maybe Colby Covington has a couple inches on Dustin Poirier. Stylistically, this fight would be so fun to watch. But what would this fight be for? Like, if it's at 170, does that make Dustin Poirier a welterweight? Is it even wise for Dustin Poirier to fight at welterweight? Just taking into consideration who fights at welterweight. I mean, guys, I believe in Dustin Poirier, but I just don't know if he couldn't capture a title at 155. How would he capture a title at 170? Who would he be matched up with? I know there are good fights for Dustin to be had at 170. You know, you could say Colby Covington, Gilbert Burns. You can even go wild and say MVP versus Dustin Poirier. That's three fights. You're definitely in talks for a title shot. And Bilal is the holder of the title right now. Bilal and Dustin Poirier, size-wise, are very similar. And I think in terms of fight, this would be very interesting. I'm just expressing ideas. And I'm just taking the string that is Dustin Poirier's recent comments, and I'm making a sweater out of it, so to say. Just because I don't think that Dustin Poirier is going to waste his time in that lightweight division again, just because fighting at lightweight, you know, realistically, welterweight or lightweight, you're 3-4 fights away from title shot. Whether it be lightweight or welterweight, at this point, is what division does Poirier think it's easier for him to compete? The welterweight division is going to be suitable for Dustin Poirier just because he does not have to drop perhaps barely anyway to fight at that one division. I want to say Dustin Poirier probably walks around about 180, 185. So dropping 15 pounds to fight at that welterweight division for a Dustin Poirier who's in his mid-30s at this point is perhaps the most suitable option if the guy has the hunger to continue fighting, which from his recent comments, that's obviously the case. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.